Bon appetit.
Don't ever put a limit on what I can do, because I will prove you wrong every single time.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was pretty good, man. I like that.
I'm glad you like that. I was just playing around.
Yeah, like that was pretty good. I'll take that as a compliment for sure.
All right.
Anything
Well,
with
yeah.
anything with Schwarzenegger and I like the body. What is the weightlifter, the heavy weightlifter? I can't remember his name.
Eddie Hall,
Eddie Hall. Yeah, that's right.
2017 World's Strongest Man. Yep.
Yeah, I'll take that. I mean, I definitely don't live up, but that was definitely pretty nice, man. I like that. I appreciate you.
No problem. But well, anyway, let's see who's taking the lead here. We didn't talk about that.
You go for it, brother. It was your
Okay.
invite. I appreciate you having me on.
All right. Well, hey everyone, I'm Shawn the Carnivore Trucker, and we have Shawn White, the intentional carnivore, right here. For simplicity purposes, just call me Trucker because we're all Shawn.
Two Shawns are going to try to make it right today.
Yep. And as usual, put a Q in front of the question. But let's see. For starters, man, I'm not like 100% up on your story.
Mm-hmm.
I know you lost like 240 pounds in a year, and you were EMS, and that's about it. So can you run that for me?
Yeah, man, sure. So I started eating carnivore by accident, watching Joe Rogan on the podcast. Him and Rhonda Patrick were having an interview. It was an old one from a couple years ago, even before I started. And Rhonda Patrick obviously is not a fan of the carnivore diet. She's got a PhD. She's a brilliant person, but she's not, in line with the proper human diet or carnivore or whatever. But so she was kind of like saying, it does have potential benefits, whatever, but she was saying if something else would work, it'd be great to do that. And nevertheless, between what they were talking about and Joe had seen some great results, it kind of piqued my curiosity. And I had spent, the last 3 years in just a deep, dark depression, and my health, I was ready to just basically give up on life. I couldn't hardly walk, couldn't take a shower without sitting on the side of the tub. I was just in a mess. 39 years old, diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. My blood pressure was stroke level, and I was on medication.
Wow.
I had gout, just an array of issues. And I was, pushing 500 pounds. So, whenever they started talking about this carnivore diet, I had never even really, heard of it at all. So I was curious. So, and I'm a Christian. I make that pretty well known. I prayed and asked God to help me find a way, and it wasn't long after that, whenever I come across this conversation. And then I just got to searching it out and came across a Dr. Ken Berry video, and like I was extremely skeptical, about what was being said. Eat meat and reverse all these problems. Like, come on, dude. I worked in EMS and been in healthcare, in some way, shape, or form for years, and nothing fixes type 2 diabetes. Like this doctor's crazy. He's trying to sell something,
Yeah.
And so I'm like, whatever, man, this guy's crazy. But the more I listened to him and the more he talked, I'm like, well, you know what? This guy's absolutely convinced about it. And, what have I got to lose? I mean, seriously. So, I kicked the can. I tried it for, like 30 days, extremely dirty. I don't even really count it, but compared to the way that I was eating and living, even that dirty carnivore did something to me. And, after the 30 days was up, I went back to eating like normal and kicked that can down the road and always said, tomorrow I'll start, next week I'll start, and all those things. Nevertheless, that leads up to April the 17th of 2022 when I finally decided that I'd had enough. Today was my day, and that's when I was going to get going. And the rest is history. I never looked back, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. 'Cause I know last year, like the tail end of last year, I was wanting to get back on the carnivore diet, and man, that first day is always like the hardest to get back on it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's. I guess I'll go into my story real quick. Well, one more thing, like when I told one of my friends that I was having a guest on that had lost like 240 pounds in a year, and he said that doesn't sound healthy. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, well, how do you lose weight healthily then? Like,
Mhm.
but what? I'm gonna pass that question on to you. What do you think of that?
Yeah, man. So, fortunately, our bodies are extremely effective and efficient at correcting issues that are wrong with them if we'll give them the proper nutrition. I didn't decide to lose 245 pounds in a year. I didn't. I didn't like hit a button or type in a secret cheat code or however whatever you will. I didn't hit the supercharger, the NOS and just I didn't plan for it. Matter of fact,
Yeah, right.
I never even decided like if I could have if I had control of that dial, I would have been at my goal weight in like 10 minutes after I started, and the process would have been much further along. I literally just focused, like I tell everybody all the time on my channel, and anywhere else for that matter. You can't focus on the speed or the amount of weight that's going to be lost. We have no control over that. The only thing we can control is what we put in. And that was my main focus because I knew that I was addicted to food that was obviously from what Dr. Barry was saying and everyone else. Excuse me, sorry.
Excuse you.
That I was addicted to stuff that was, screwing my whole body system up. And, I was living proof. I saw it in my own life. So I was like, the main focus has got to be the determination, consistency, and making this change because Dave Ramsey used to always say, if you want to live like nobody else, you got to live like nobody else. So if you're going to do what nobody else has done, you got to literally do and be willing to do what nobody else does. And I mean, that's the hardest thing I feel like for most of us. And so, as far as it being healthy, I went and got my blood labs drawn so that I knew where I was starting. I had a metabolic panel, I had a lipid panel, I had all the things,
Oh, okay.
I had everything done to see where I was at and see not just what I could see on the outside, but the blood work in which what my blood levels were doing. Because, like I said, I had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. My A1C was almost 7, it was like 6.8. Um, my cholesterol, I can't remember what it was. My triglycerides were pretty high. Um, my obviously my ALT and I forgot the other one. Just my mind went blank. But I had
Oh,
non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Like I mean, I had a lot of issues, and I had the uh, the blood work to prove it. So I could see in my blood work, you can lose weight a million ways. You know,
uh-huh.
you could eat
Yeah.
like there's plenty of people eating vegan or vegetarian or starving. There's people starving themselves to death all the time, all over the world because they're not eating enough food. They're losing weight, and then eventually that's what happens. There's plenty of ways to lose weight, but I wanted to
Yeah.
make sure and track it, bro. So I mean, that's really what I got to say about that. My body decided, not me.
Yeah, right, right. Like our bodies are designed through, or made or evolved, however you want to look at it, to do what it does if it's given what it needs.
Hmm.
So the body's just gonna do what it does.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Um, well, I guess I'll get into my story for any of your viewers who don't know me or whatever.
Man, how'd you
So
come to
yeah,
Carnivore?
carnivore. Well, I started I think in like 2019 when I got my fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic diagnosed. You know, they did the ultrasound or whatever, and my doctor at that time had told me that diet could reverse it, and that she was going to give me like some information on how to do it. And then she never got back to me, so I decided to do my own research, and then that's when I came across Dr. Ken Berry and Thomas C. Lauer, and I followed Thomas for a while. I started doing OMAD and uh, some weird type of keto version where I would just have like a big salad with some bacon and some like eggs, and then I would slow cook on my truck. So I'd have like Brussels sprouts and a roast or whatever,
Hmm.
and so I'd have like soup and salad, and that's all I would eat for one meal a day. And I had some success with it, but so I did that for about 2 or 3 months, and then I got a call from my mom saying that she got diagnosed with cancer.
Mm.
So I quit my job, went home and took care of her. Completely fell off the diet, and then 3 months after her diagnosis, she passed.
Mm. I'm sorry to hear
And
that.
yeah, thank you. And so I was there for her during her final moments. So I'm glad for that. Anyway, so after she passed, man, I went down a pretty dark path. Started drinking. I started binging on everything. You know, binge drinking, binge eating, nicotine,
Hmm.
and so I did that for about 2 months, and then I realized, like, I got to do something. And so I started the job that I'm at still right now, this company, and like, just nothing heals like the open road is what I like to say. So just got out there, got to work, got my mind right, and last January I tried my first. I did my first try at Carnivore. I want to say it was like that dirty Carnivore too, because
Yeah.
like I would have like pecans or macadamia nuts or a little bit of chocolate or uh, had some other random stuff. I can't really remember. Oh, the keto treats. Yeah, the keto treats. And I know that's been the fall of many carnivores.
Yeah, the treats. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, nutrition talk from a former fat girl.
Mhm.
Um. Anyway.
It's easy whenever you're going through those, real life situations, stuff that you weren't expecting, and stuff that hurts, and whatever, man. It's easy to get sidetracked and resort back to what's ingrained in you. What Just trying to ease that pain, man.
Oh yeah. I still battle with it, and it's been almost 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Um. But anyway, back to where I was with carnivore. So I did it for a month in January, and I think I lost about 10 pounds or so, something like that. And then, because I was doing it while I was on the road, and I got home and just fell off of it again because I'm home. I wanted to eat whatever I wanted to eat, that sort of
Mhm.
thing. And then, oh, and I had quit smoking for the first time last year, January, and so yeah, I ate mostly carnivore in last January, and then fell off of it and just started. I probably binging. I'd say I was binging because I was like, especially sweets like Reese's Pieces or whatever, and and ice cream. That was like my go-to. So, and then I started smoking again. I want to say about 3 or 4 months after I'd quit, so like March or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so by this January, I was at the heaviest I've ever been, which was I was afraid to weigh myself, but I want to say at least 260. Um, I mean, I was getting to where I was having a hard time, like reaching my undercarriage. It was getting there.
Right.
Yeah,
You see
and
Larry.
that
Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I did see Larry's. We'll get into that, but yeah, it's like that was kind of a wake up call, and I go outside to lower my landing gear, my trailer to disconnect, and I'd get winded just from doing that. I was all bloated, and so January 1st, I put down the cigarettes
Nice.
and took that first leap, that first step on the carnivore, and I haven't looked back.
Yeah, man.
And I actually just weighed myself today
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, January I was probably 260, at least 250, and today I weighed in at 212 pounds.
Nice, dude.
And
We weigh the same thing, brother.
really,
Yeah, 212 pounds.
nice, nice.
That is awesome.
But yeah, and my goal weight is just to get under 200 pounds. I haven't been under 200 pounds since I was like an early teenager. You
Yeah,
know,
it'd be about 6th or 7th grade for me.
wow.
I wear the same size pants now that I remember. No, I know in 8th grade, I remember my mom taking us to me and my brother to like a little department store, or whatever, and buying a 34 Husky for me as a kid. I remember that being the first time I heard my mom talk about the size clothes that I wear, talking to the person we were buying them from, and the guy the carnivore pastor who's actually listening right now and
Yeah, I
commenting.
saw.
Steve, yeah, he came over to the house a few weeks ago, and we had a steak and just talked and chatted, whatever. He brought me some clothes, man. It was very nice, and I appreciate that. Stuff that he had shrunk out of. And I got a pair of shorts, and I looked in there, and it's size 34, and I was like, man, it's been since 8th grade, so it's wild, man.
It's funny. I've always been size 34, but like the gut, overlaps. Oh,
Oh yeah,
used to at least. Man, it's.
yeah,
I just recorded. I'm gonna release the video probably Wednesday, but I just recorded my video for my 6 month carniversary video. So
awesome, man. Yeah, it's cool to document that stuff.
yeah, it's been, man. Once I sat down and talked about it, it was just really just kind of amazing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Well, and before we go on much further, I guess I should mention, hey, everybody, to everybody in the chat. There's at least I don't know, I don't have it on my screen because I was invited
51,
by the how many
51.
51. So you got at least 51 people in the chat. If you guys will hit that like, push the video out for him and for me, and hit that like button if you haven't subscribed to the Carnivore Trucker. I do,
Thank you.
and I think it's interesting stuff because my uncle was a trucker. Like he drove
Uh huh.
all. My grandpa worked for Southeastern for 40 years, freight
Wow.
line, and drove. And he actually, I remember he got this little crystal truck when he retired, because it got knocked off and broke somehow. I don't know how.
Hmm.
But yeah, and both of those guys are passed on there in heaven now. But I just remember being around those trucks and seeing the big trucks and stuff like that. So I kind of related to you in something that has nothing to do with carnivore originally. And there's some others out there that are pretty good too. But it was amazing. I wanted to find out. One of the questions that I brought with me today was, just getting more information really from you on, for all those folks out there that are over the road truckers or long distance truckers, eating this way and practicing. It's hard enough whenever you're at home living with your family and you can walk to the refrigerator or whatever. You're doing that, but you're in a truck driving 80, 90 down the highway, trying to being in a different location, and it's a whole different aspect to it. So that's interesting to me, and I commend you on that.
Well, thank you. And I wish I could drive 80 or 90.
I know
I'm
I
so,
was being generous.
I'm, I'm stuck at 65.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that that's part of the reason. Well, what you just said. That's part of the reason why I started this channel. Uh, Half of it's like accountability, and the other half is to set an example and try to motivate other professional drivers to take care of their health. Um, I've let's see, because I've encountered two other truck drivers who are rolling carnivore, and I'm gonna have one of them on my channel next month. So I'm really looking forward to that. That would be a really interesting conversation.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and semi-retired Bob used to drive truck too. So
Oh yeah. He's got a
yeah,
lot. Semi-retired Bob is awesome, and I hadn't seen him jump in the chat. I know he works on Sundays, but so
uh,
like he's got a lot of knowledge that he doesn't let people know about. So y'all got to y'all ain't. A lot of people think they're getting over on semi-retired Bob pulling one over on him. The man knows what he's doing, and I love him. He's such an awesome guy.
well, Beth says my husband is an over-the-road trucker, and I've gotten some good ideas for him from Trucker's channel. Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate that. That's what I'm all about. I'm trying to help drivers out, and make it some carnivore friends like Mr. White here.
yeah, man. Well, I mean, and we all have a responsibility. When you know better, you should be compelled to do better. That's how I really believe. I believe it's a travesty to our society when people who know better don't stand up and do something and say something, and that just lets anything. What I'm sure there's many quotes that we could quote to illustrate the point, but I mean, I'm not that type of person. I've always wanted to help people from the time I was, started doing EMS, working in healthcare to help people, or all the way up through my little journey is about the longest time, through depression was about the longest time I went where I wasn't trying to reach out and help other people. I needed to reach somebody to reach out and help me. Um, and I know what that's like when you're living for so long and it almost feels like somebody didn't reach out to you. Even though you know a lot of people, even though um, a lot of people love you and a lot of people care about you,
Hmm.
um, you go through those things that you go through a lot of times in silence, and you're embarrassed, so you don't talk about it, and whatever. A lot of times, and
Yeah.
so I mean that's kind of what compels me too, because even this past week, a situation happened in my family that was a tragedy. And if anybody in my family is extremely close. And if anybody in my family had known what was going to transpire, any one of us would have stepped in and tried to do something, but we just didn't know. Like it was literally a secret. And then a life was taken too short. And so you never know who you're talking to that's struggling, or who you're talking with that's watching you, that doesn't comment or isn't involved, is sitting there watching your channel or my channel or anything else, that you're going to make a huge difference just by something little and insignificant that you say just hits them the right way and gives them a spark of hope to continue on. Man, that's huge. You can't put a price tag on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I saw that on your Facebook. I don't imagine you want to talk about it on air because I'll
Yeah.
ask you about it later.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
mean, I just out of respect for the family, I just would
yeah, yeah. Of course, I understand. I understand, but yeah, I'm sorry for your loss. But and man, speaking of depression, Carnivore does like it's so much better, right? Because
hmm
I mean, with me dealing uh, with my loss with my mother,
hmm
um, it's just Carnivore does really help me out there, and also just being like stressed. Like obviously, I'm in a really stressful job, and Carnivore is really helping out. Like bad things do happen, I do get upset, but it's not as earth shattering as it used to be.
hmm Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about the stress and depression is, they affect everybody a little bit different ways a lot of times. And like the depression, I don't know how it was for you, but I mean, for me, it's hard to even describe and talk about the actual how it was, because it's more of a feeling that's on you rather than an expression, because nobody did anything to me, or it wasn't like I could stop it, or it was being acted on by someone else. It was
Hmm.
just it was something that was like a weight. And you know I don't know, man. It's hard to understand unless you've been there, obviously, dealing with the depression, dealing with the anxiety, and the PTSD, the stress. I mean, stress is a huge one, man. And unless somebody's in your shoes, it's kind of hard to relate it, but I can
Yeah.
imagine even 65, driving down the road and having a little, one of them little VWs cut you off, and like cutting in front of you and whatever. And next thing you know, you got a 80,000, 90,000 pound truck. And I mean, you know what that's going to do, and you're
Hmm.
responsible for it. And, I've worked many of those rollovers from, I remember
Oh.
very vividly. Not far it's probably about an hour from where I live now. There's a fueling station where the tankers go to fill up gasoline. And one day there was a guy coming out, leaving that just had got filled up, went around the curve too fast and just rolled it, and it like dumped over, and it was crazy. You could see it. I have pictures of the fire as we were responding to the call from miles and miles away. It literally it sent fireballs rolling down through the woods after it tipped and went. And I'm talking about it burnt all the way the cab and everything. And so it's a horrible situation. And I mean, I don't want to go real more. Obviously, I'm not trying to go morbid or whatever. I want to have a good time, but I mean, it's serious, man. You always got to be ready to go. And have your life in
Yeah.
order and be right with God, because it could be any of us at any given moment.
Oh yeah. I could freaking drive my truck off a cliff any day.
God forbid.
It's
I pray for.
Yeah, of course, of course. But you get my point. Um, I was gonna comment on something, but it I forgot it. I'm sorry. But to Beth, question, trucker, do you use an air fryer or an electric grill? Sorry, I don't recall. Yeah, that's how I do my meal prep. I have a induction little grill with my cast iron, and then I have a. I'm gonna pull it out real quick. Oh, I have a Oster electric grill right here, and I use that to cook my hamburger patties that I eat pretty much every day. Well, every weekday. It's easy. Just meal prep the hamburger patties, and I'll eat on them throughout the day, and then on the weekends, like right now, I'll have my steaks, cook them up with my cast iron. So
Mhm.
it's a nice little. It's easy to be strict carnivore on the road for me.
Yeah, man. That's one thing I got to get better at, is with the air fryer. I still use the microwave. People get on to me all the time. Quit using a microwave. I'm like, it's so quick. I know. It's not as good or whatever, but I just use what I got. I don't.
I
I don't.
use
Even,
that.
I don't even have one of the other air fryer. Our air fryer is like one of the old school oven ones. I mean, it's pretty good. It works, but I got to start using it more.
Yeah, yeah. Like the way I see the steaks come out in the air fryers, I'm like, I'd rather just put that on a cast iron.
Mm. Oh, dude, I did that reverse sear. You can't, man.
Yeah,
Goodness,
that's what I'm talking about.
you can't beat it, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I still have a bit of my lunch up there from.
Right? So, like, I was doing everything on a charcoal grill for the longest time, just an old charcoal Weber grill, and I would take everything out and just throw it on there, and use different flavored woods and whatever. And when
Mhm.
I did a video, the very first video before I ever started my channel. Yeah, back in August of last year, I lost 100 pounds. When Larry Berquist from Carnivore Quest invited me on to come on their show and do a video,
Mhm.
and he that day when I spent like 10 hours with him hanging out that day, and he did a reverse sear steak that we had gotten from the butcher shop, and I
Mhm.
was like, "Oh my goodness, this is the most amazing steak I think I've ever eaten in my life." And I was like writing it down. How did you do it? 22 minutes at what was that? 225 in the oven, and then it's done, and then you throw it on the grill and just brown the outside. Cool. And I have never I still got. I wish I could take all this stuff out there right now and show you. There's still charcoal, there's still wood, and there's still whatever was in the grill whenever I quit using the Weber grill out on my front porch right now. So
Well, maybe that's a video idea for you.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was gonna say you used to cook everything on a barbecue pit, and then you met Kip.
Right. That boy
But
does it.
I know I watching his videos make me hungry sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So we got
Peachy
Peachy,
pants.
sorry, Pam. Oh, okay. A driver has so much to deal with, starting with the dispatcher to the pickup to people on the road to the customer. People need to respect the drivers. You're doing awesome, trucker. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a very demanding job.
Tell Miss Connie happy birthday. She said today is my 66th birthday, and although I am far from perfect as my diet goes, I have let's see,
I have
maybe
G,
yeah.
but it sounds like it's going good. And happy
Feels so
birthday.
hard. Yeah, I feels 20 years younger. Thank God. Absolutely. That's my neighbor. I appreciate you.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
And yeah, happy birthday. And from Mama Bear Lynette, question: Carnivore trucker, what is your favorite beverage to drink while driving? Is it different once you stop for the morning? My favorite beverage is a Liquid Death sparkling water.
That's the only one
And
we can find, man. Well, I got some of these now and some of the Pellegrinos, but normally that's the only ones we can find.
yeah, well, on the most truck stops have Perrier and Topo Chico, but
Hmm.
every now and then you come across the San Pellegrino and some random other ones, like some artisan ones. I kind of like I buy whenever I could find it. It's kind of
Hmm.
interesting.
That's cool.
But yeah, I don't. I try to stay away from like any type of flavorings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's mostly just regular plain old uh, sparkling water.
Yeah, me too, man. Because a lot of people don't understand, with the flavors, and I've seen it mentioned back and forth, and there may be somebody here that doesn't know as well. So I'll just for the sake, I'll mention it. You know, yeah, the artificial sugar, it doesn't raise your blood sugar, and that's not the issue with it being the artificial sweeteners and stuff. And the addiction side of it, you can talk about forever, whether it makes you or whether it doesn't. What the brain doesn't realize fake sugar from real sugar, so it's going to
Hmm.
release insulin either way. And if you don't
Yeah,
have high blood sugar but your brain's releasing insulin, what's it going to do? It's going to bottom what your normal blood sugar hits, that insulin's going to hit it, and it's going to bottom your blood sugar out. So you're going to be hypoglycemic, instead of hyperglycemic for the release of that insulin. And so, definitely something to think about. Maybe some people stalls out, maybe some people don't. That's really irrelevant. You don't want to trigger that insulin if you don't have to. So use it while you have to use it, but try to get it out if you are using it. That's kind of what I was talking with Kip about.
yeah. Like when I first started carnivore, that was one of the first things I cut out was anything that tasted sweet because you still get a dopamine hit, and it still will keep that pattern of wanting it, even
Hmm.
if it doesn't do anything to your supposedly doesn't do anything to your blood sugar.
Hmm.
From Primal Mike, question: Are you in a truck now? It seems like it. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And also you, Primal Mike, you put up. You said you put up a video on electrolytes. We'll go ahead and check that out. So shout out to
Yeah,
Primal Mike,
yeah, he's got a good channel too, man.
and we got a super chat for you from
Carnivore.
Carnivorous Keith. Looks like New Zealand dollars.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, man. I
$5.
appreciate
Question. Oh well, you go ahead and read it. It's your super chat.
that. I appreciate that, Keith, man. I appreciate you hooking me up. Every little bit helps, man, and I reinvest it back into the channel. So I appreciate that and your thoughtfulness. How have you both handled family and friends gatherings while on carnivore? I'm 3 months carnivore today. Best thing I've ever done to heal. Personally, for a long time I just didn't go to family dinners. Now I try my best to eat before I go. If especially if I know what they're having. I don't want to be tempted. So if I'm full on my steak or whatever I'm gonna have for that day, then I really just don't want anything before I go, and I can still go do the family time and hang out, and no big deal. If I know what they're having, sometimes they'll have stuff that is on my plan, and I can just have that. So I just try to pre-plan and plan ahead and have a plan in action because I know myself, and I know that if I just go with the flow, there's a real good chance that I'll see something that tempts me, and if I don't have a plan, I might give in. So I just try to pre-plan for it. What about you, man?
Yeah, at first, when I first started, it was like just avoid going out as much as possible, but I still did it. And I would, like, I think my first time, my aunt took me to uh, some sort of Japanese style restaurant,
Mm,
and I was like, okay, what can I eat here? Uh, so I asked them to just give me some beef strips in a bowl,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, that sounds good. And then they get it, and they're covered in soy sauce, and I'm like, oh man, oh well, I ate them anyway just because I didn't want to be rude.
Yeah.
And but yeah, the I started getting smart about it. So like when I go out with my dad and my stepmom, uh, we went out to a Mexican restaurant kind of recently. I heard that.
Dude, it's thunderstorm. I had to have my wife. She came and closed the door. It's just all of a sudden the bottom fell out here, and like it is raining like crazy here.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Hopefully I'm still with everybody, and like it's picking up, and the internet's not going to bail on me. But if it does, it is what it is. We'll see you next go round.
Yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, yeah. So Mexican restaurant, I ordered T-bone steak, half an avocado, and a side of shrimp, and ooh, that was good.
Oh, come on!
So,
You trying to tempt me right now?
excuse me. But yeah, still, it's easy once you figure out some of the tips and tricks.
Hmm.
So, and also, you just eat ahead or bring your own food. That's what I do when I visit my dad. Is I'll just bring my own steaks
Hmm.
for like a couple of days.
Yeah, you got to get it ingrained in you. You got to just. I love what Bronson said about that the other day. I was watching a video, and he said, don't do it so you don't, or don't do it trying to just do it right. Do it so you can't fail. And I may be slaughtering the quote, but nevertheless, it was similar to that. And I'm like, man, listen, you gotta replace those addictions and those routines of whatever with the right thing. And once you get it ingrained in you to where it becomes routine, you just literally the following the process. But it's hard, man. It's not easy. It sounds easy, and sometimes it looks easy, but you know, it's tough sometimes.
Yeah, it's a little tough sometimes, but even like if you know what Whataburger is a burger place here in Texas.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like my my family wants to go out there, and I'm like, okay, so I'll order like just 3 or 4 hamburger patties, and then I'm good.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I said, it's tips and tricks. You can do it. But
Oh
Beth has a question. Trucker, saw on your channel that you listen to audiobooks. Do you find that challenging while driving? Um, to be honest, I haven't listened to an audiobook in a while. I haven't read in a while. I need to get back into those old habits. Um, but I'll tell you what I do usually do is like the night before, the day before, I'll go on YouTube and like, okay, this looks interesting. I'll put that on my watch list. I build up my watch list, and then it's usually carnivore podcasts, stuff like that, and I'll get that playing while I'm driving and just be listening to it throughout the day, and that's usually what I've been doing lately. Yeah, yeah, Miss Rev, this was awesome. It was like, oh,
hmm
hey, look who's in the house,
Oh look at there, look at there. What's going on, brother?
and Charger Mopar is here. What's going on? Yeah, I'm glad you're hanging in there with that weather, man.
Yeah, man's doing it.
Miss Rev, I ordered an omelet from IHOP a while back, and they put pancake. What?
Yeah, they do
Pancakes
that, man.
better in it?
IHOP and Waffle House. I'm pretty sure both of them actually do that. They put like the flour pancake mix or something in their eggs and hash browns or something like that. I remember hearing or seeing a discussion about that before, but yeah, like Kip says, man, y'all do us a favor, hit that like button, leave us a good comment down there. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. For both of us, that really helps us out, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. Appreciate from Carnivorous Keith NZ. Appreciate both of your answers. Got to go. Family calling. Take care.
All right,
All. Yep. Take care.
enjoy it. I appreciate you, man. Take care.
But yeah, on the topic of eggs, man, I don't know what it is. I cannot handle eggs at all.
Hmm
Like I've tried just the whites. I've tried just the yolks. I've tried just the yolks from my dad's backyard chickens. Like I get a couple bites in and I get physically nauseous, and then like the couple bites that I have eaten just like tear my stomach up. So it's been a good 4, maybe 5 months since I've had eggs.
Wow.
I've sourced a place that will sell me duck eggs.
hmm
Um, Next time I'm home, I'm gonna buy some and see how I do with it. So I'm thinking, since chicken eggs are not working for me, I'm gonna try duck. There's also you've probably seen them at like the travel centers. They sell like the pickled quail eggs.
hmm
I've been meaning to try that, but I don't like very many pickled foods.
Yeah. I used to love the pickled eggs way back in the day, but like I never know what's in it because a lot of those things they do use sugar in. So um, you got
Yeah,
to be careful with what you get. But I mean, as long as it was pickled in like vinegar or something, maybe I don't know. I'd have to look at it and see. But yeah, man, I don't know. It might be good, but the egg thing, man. So I've heard a lot of people that have issues with the histamines in the white. Not I haven't heard like if you just get the yolk, but I mean, it doesn't surprise me. There's no telling what's getting through to your system. Um,
yeah, yeah. It's kind of crazy how like before carnivore, I loved eggs. Like I could tolerate them, but
mhm.
now like all your food sensitivities are like turned up to 11 on carnivore. It's kind of crazy.
Well, you started getting so much filtered out of your system, man, that like the things that really couldn't get through to hurt you whenever you had so many issues start affecting you a little bit more. I talk about it before, but it's worth mentioning again. I left black pepper in my diet for a long time, and I eat some still now, but I don't eat anything like I used to, because a couple of months into carnivore, I started getting joint pain, and I was like, "What in the world is going on?" Like, I haven't changed my diet at all. I haven't. haven't cheated. I hadn't ate off plan. I haven't done anything different. All of a sudden, my joints are killing me,
Yeah.
and so I start just looking into it, researching, it, and black pepper has 20 times the oxalates as white pepper. And so I'm like, man, let's cut the black pepper, see if that's what it is. And sure enough, like I cut it out for 2 or 3 days, and everything was back to never had an issue again. So I will eat it, occasionally. And like whenever I do steaks, it's in like a mix that I use. But I just don't eat anything close to the same level because what used to not bother me now, just I don't want that joint pain. So
Yeah, yeah. Like when I first went carnivore, the sugar and the pepper, that was both went out. So I have a question for you. When you were losing all that weight last year, were you working out any, exercising?
I
What
wasn't.
were you?
Well, I wasn't working out. I haven't worked out. I'm looking at getting into that now. That's what I need to do. But I didn't want to gain any weight or whatever. I didn't want to build muscle. I wanted to get my weight and my health kind of sort of where I wanted it, and work on that specifically. Now I walked, because I couldn't walk. And when I finally started walking, I felt so good that, I just wanted to keep walking. So I would walk 3 to 5 miles a day typically, and usually at my job. So I would walk, 5 miles, 6 miles a day, but not
Uh-huh.
like working out, power walking, just a regular walk, whatever pace. But as far as lifting weights, working out, no, I didn't do anything like that. Um, I just ate the proper human diet and was outside, being, walking a little bit and being active, but nothing
Wow,
like what you would think.
that's crazy how that works. How you can lose pretty much a whole person off your body and hardly touch a weight,
Right.
and that goes against so much what modern medicine tells us.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what his name, composition consultant.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he was doing a live stream today of watching Greg Doucette's reaction to one of Dr. Barry's videos,
Yeah.
and that me and Charger Mopar, me and Rick, we were both in the chat just roasting Greg because because he just repeats calories in, calories out, calories in, calories out, and then he equated Lucky Charms to having the same stuff as a steak, and I'm just
Get
like,
out of here.
what? Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. So y'all are gonna have to check that video out. It was insane. I'm just like, and I used to watch Greg Doucette.
Yeah.
I still think he's entertaining, but only when he stays in his lane and doesn't go off on stupid dietary crap like he was.
Absolutely, I agree. It's amazing what people believe, and they say that stuff not understanding that you know they're influencing people and they're influencing them in a
Yeah.
horrible direction. That's one thing that I always try to be conscientious about. Whether what I'm doing and what I'm saying is, am I 100% right on every topic every time? No, of course I'm not. But it's not because of ill intentions or trying to mislead. It's because maybe I just don't know or don't understand, and I'm still learning and growing too. So, but what I do put out there, I try to make sure that that's either my experience, what I've seen and what works, or the fact, of what is stated about it. So you can't, like, even Bart K, who's extremely brilliant with science and everything else,
Hmm.
physiology, exercise physiology. He's got the resume to back it up. He even says, you cannot trust anything that's commonly accepted in the nutritional world today. It's a system that is completely broke,
Hmm.
and I agree. And if you
It's
talk to some of
completely.
the
It's
what was her name? Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah. The systems, the nutritional systems and guidelines that we're forced under are bought out by all these food companies who, they just want our money. And
Mm,
I'm all for capitalism, but not at the cost of general health. You know what I mean?
mm,
And it's just it sucks.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, whatever. I don't usually like to go off on like scientific rants and stuff like that. I always say, well, yeah, it's just leave the science to the scientists. So it's like point to Dr. Barry, Bart K, whatever.
Oh
Like
yeah, we're
like
not.
I am no expert. Yeah, we're not doctors. We're we're just guys who
Yeah,
figured out a couple things. So
absolutely.
uh, did I highlight this already? Uh,
Didn't exercise it.
and Allison, I didn't exercise either and lost. Uh, oh, I lost there it is. Lost 60 pounds on carnivore. That is awesome.
Mhm. We give a shout out to my subs. They're so faithful, man. I appreciate all you guys with the green tags. You know, they members of the channel. I've been trying to get that all that stuff worked out with the little system, and I want to recognize you guys. I appreciate you guys investing in me. That stuff, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, it all goes back into the channel, trying to get it, grow it, make it better, and get everything going. So, the membership, the tribe of the channel, I appreciate you guys doing that. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And if anybody is watching and hasn't subscribed to the Intentional Carnivore, go ahead and subscribe to him. Become a channel member
Yeah,
and
awesome.
like it, like all his videos. Do all the things.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that.
No problem. Beth, question again, trucker. How do you handle meals on the road when you don't have time to cook? Love the frame around the video. Yes, thank you. I love my bacon flag. Um, okay, for the occasional time where I forget to uh, meal prep, I've made a couple of shorts about this too. Like one of my first videos on my channel was how to eat carnivore at the truck stops, and I did I did some good research on it. Like I pulled up all the nutritional facts of the roller hot dogs that they sell. Uh, Broke down like, hey, this one has wheat in it, this one has sugar, yada yada. Uh, like this pork rind is cooked with canola oil, stay away from it, that sort of thing. So what I'm saying is like you have to educate yourself first of all about it, but you got to look at the ingredients and know what you're getting. But there's ways to eat carnivore at the truck stops. Um, Recently, like the Pilots Flying J started selling a half-pound hot dog, and it's like this big,
What?
and yeah, and it's like a I can't remember the word, but what they call it, but it's got like breading around it, cooked around it already, and it's like two for seven or something like that, maybe 10.
Mm,
Uh, so you got a pound of meat, hot dog meat. You just pull the pull the bread off, and you got a pound of meat right there.
there you go.
And it's little stuff like that. With beef jerky too, you got to be careful about that. There's only like a handful of beef jerkies that I actually trust to eat at the truck stops. So yeah, like I said, there's ways to do it. It's not clean carnivore, but it'll get you by.
Big Kip
What,
says he's in a 300-pound club now. Look at him.
nice, Kip, nice.
Good job, buddy. Proud of you.
Rick, charging more for Greg Doucette isn't even dog food.
That's funny.
Mama Bear Lynette, it's truly an honor to support you, Shawn.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that.
For a second, I thought she was talking about me. I was like, oh, thank you.
Well, I'm sure she's here supporting both of us right now, and we're both Sean. So I
Yep,
appreciate.
that's right. Carnivore Ron, I deadlifted today. I have a 45-pound Olympic bar on my top bunk, and about 160 pounds of weights for it on my truck. Oh, yeah. And yes, all these congratulations, Kip. Um,
Nice.
well, while I'm scrolling through some of these, I got another question for you. With all that weight you've lost, do you have loose skin?
Yeah, I do actually have some loose skin. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like under my arms, I mean, it's hard to tell in this environment, but I mean, you can see there's loose skin.
Yeah.
So I mean, and you know, as far as what I thought it was going to be like coming from where I started to, the worst area is basically my stomach. Most of everything that's left is skin and not fat, and it's kind of aggravating. And I kind of, but there's only I'm willing to do the trade off that for what I got rid of. So I mean,
Right.
honestly, carrying around all that fat, the joint pain, and all the issues that I mentioned, is definitely worth the trade off. It is aggravating, and that's another thing why I need to start trying to practice fasting a little bit more and see if the autophagy that I get out of that will help, or lifting weights. Build a muscle, and hopefully that'll spur some tightening of the skin. And that's the issue. I guess that's going to be where my battle with time goes. Because a lot of people have to practice their relationship with just letting time take its course with losing weight. And I was fortunate enough that for whatever reason, it came off fast for me, and now I got to deal with the time of working with the skin. So we all have our battles, right? Um,
Yeah.
Definitely something you got to deal with. Look at, and but I'm gonna tell you right now, I promise you, it's worth it. I made a list. I'll show it to you guys. I put it on the Facebook the other day of all the reasons I regret doing carnivore. Can y'all see it?
Yeah, we see it.
I
big
mean,
big goose egg. Big
yeah,
zero.
that's all the reasons I regret. Uh, so,
Well, man, yeah, if you start putting on some muscle, fill in some of that loose skin,
yeah, I need to.
be looking like Arnold, like I put your face on.
I know, Rob. That's what I like. I give Chafee a hard time. I said I'm trying to. I got to get started. I'm working on that Chafee body. Man walking around with his shirt off. I'm like, so maybe one of these days.
I'm gonna do one more, and then we'll do some closing stuff. Do not, not really a question, but a remark on loose skin, time and dirt. Can you say that word?
Derma rolling.
Derma. Oh, okay, derma rolling. I know what they're talking about. With vitamin application helps.
Awesome.
So
Thanks for the tip.
that's kind of like the like kind of a cold roll, I think.
Mhm. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Uh, well, I know you said you wanted to stick around for an hour, and we're coming up on 58 minutes. Um, Before we go, man, I've been meaning to get back into working out myself.
Hmm.
So, starting Monday, if you start working out, I will too.
Monday.
Tomorrow, yep.
Well, let's do it, man. We gonna we
All
gonna
right.
text, we gonna text each other and post it in the Facebook group or something.
Yeah, something. We'll figure something out. Either do some shorts or something like that.
That'll work.
That'll
We
work.
we might have started something a short post off or something. You know.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've taken a selfie without the shirt on, for my progress picture. It's been a
Oh,
while, so.
yeah, I'm not gonna put anybody through that kind of torture, but
But yeah, like I said, and it doesn't have to be anything. It could just be like an hour walk, which is what I'm planning on starting off on.
yeah, man, that's cool. It's always good.
Yep, yep. All right. Well, before we go, let's see if there's any last minute questions. We got to view like what 30 seconds. See if
Yeah,
anybody see
get
if
her.
anybody wants to get anything out real quick. Okay. Susan Hampton question: what supplements do you take on carnivore and or ketovore? I personally only supplement iodine and with element. What about you?
Yeah, same thing. I like the Keto Chow Daily Mineral drops. It has the iodine and trace minerals, sodium, potassium, magnesium. I like those at a higher level than the other Keto Chow electrolyte drops. So I do like those, but electrolytes and then vitamin D is another thing that I've been meaning forever to get, that I know because of my blood work that's been low and I need to replace it. So those are the two things that I either do take or plan on taking, just because it's what I need. But other than that, unless you know by your blood work that you're low on a vitamin, then you can get most everything from what you eat. So I wouldn't take anything outside of that. Just for me,
Yeah, I still haven't gotten my blood work done, so I don't know if I'm low on anything.
Bro, you need to do that.
I know. I keep putting it off. Keep putting it off. But anyway, before we go, anything you want to shout out? Any upcoming videos, stuff
Oh
like that?
man, yeah. So I mean,
Social media.
yeah, well, Intentional Carnivore, the YouTube. I actually designed and created a new private Facebook group. It's Carnivorous Community on Facebook.
Oh, is
It
that
ain't,
what you had tried me to?
yeah, so I mean, it's a private community. It's not in competition with anybody else. I still love Carnivore Quest community. I'm still a part. I'm still a moderator there. I love those guys. It's an addition to, and some of those, Larry and Cassie and some of the other guys are moderators in my group, and helping grow. It's just one more place. It's a little bit different, kind of got my twist on it, more so, but I mean, it's the same basic idea. If anybody's welcome to come join, I'll be more than happy to have you there. I got all my links. They'll be under my videos. I appreciate it. I do want to make mention of Miss Lynette that she actually bought something off the channel, and I haven't listed it yet, but I wanted to recognize her before the video was over. Bought something off the wish list, the lights, which is why you can see my face a little bit brighter than in the dark. And I just wanted to mention that and tell her how much I appreciate her for that. Yeah, I usually do that at the end of my production videos, and I haven't made one, so I want to make mention of that. All those things that everybody buys and donates to the channel, they ask about it all the time. The links are in the description, so if you guys want to reach out for that, I appreciate it each and every opportunity. And I'm very thankful for that. And you guys be back Wednesday. We will have Miss Autumn from Autumn Does Keto. You know her from Keto Palooza. She'll be on the show live with us, and I'm looking forward to it, man. But thank you so much for having me on your channel and sharing this time with me, Shawn. I appreciate that, man, and I wish you the best. And if you guys aren't subscribed to him, get over there and subscribe, support my man, and push him on the journey. We all need each other, man. That's one big thing, and we can find get together and support each other, man. I appreciate that. So the honor was mine, and I look forward to the next time, buddy.
All right. Thank you again for coming on and doing this. Let's see. Real quick. Next Sunday I'll have former fat girl on, and Wednesday I'm gonna drop my video for my 3-month carnivore anniversary. So that's about all I got going on. Of course, Instagram. Same username. So, all right. Well, that'll be it for this stream. And y'all drive safe out there, and remember to eat bacon and keep trucking.
That's right. Keep pushing forward.
Yep.
Hey there. Are you a professional driver who's interested in the carnivore way of eating? Are you tired of being bloated, overweight, dealing with type 2 diabetes, depression? Tired of taking meds that only mask the symptoms instead of dealing with the root cause? Do you not find enough time in your working day, 14-hour, to work out? Tired of the fast food that's sold here at the truck stops, not knowing what's healthy to eat out here on the road? Love eating steak and bacon? Well, stay tuned, because you're going to like what I have to say. It doesn't matter whether you're an owner-operator, a company driver, driving local or across the country, barely home a handful of days a month like I am. We all have one thing in common at least. We all enjoy the camaraderie of the open road. I always get out in my truck and help spot someone backing up into that tight spot at the truck stop, or help you with your blind side maneuver to get back into the dock door. And I know you do the same for me. Shoot, I had to help this guy back up in the middle of this video. We watch each other's backs out here and take care of each other. We also take care of America, delivering goods and providing services that keep food on the tables of millions. But we do so at the detriment of our own health, whether it's being sedentary from driving, not getting enough exercise, smoking, drinking, or eating the garbage that's sold here at the truck stops. And beyond your family and friends who might be concerned for your health, nobody else cares about our health. And that's what me and my friend Greg are here for. We have it figured out. I, for example, lost 40 pounds this year, and it's only June. We aren't selling you anything, but we are trying to help you buy the right thing. Go to rvcarnivore.com/OTR for more information on the carnivore lifestyle. Please like this video, subscribe to both of our channels, follow us on both of our Instagrams, and feel free to email either of us at our emails here. Now, y'all drive safe out there, and remember to eat bacon and keep trucking.